Hello everyone. It is Tarot Tuesday, and basically what we're going to do here is you're going to pick a series of yin energy, so it's female subconscious energy, chaos magic energy, the divine womb, or you're going to be picking male energy over here. So female over here, male over here, and then we're going to read the aspects. And as you can see, there are certain cards here that are not being divided into either yin or yang, like these Native American shaman decks, the dragon deck, and I think that's the only couple decks, and this totem deck right here. So pick out which one you want to go with, and then we're going to start reading the joint energy. So here in the center, we see that we have the drums of life, that basically tells you right here that it's a moment for us to step into our power. Life is movement, life is vibration, and it's a great moment for all of us here to start understanding that we're stepping into a moment of abundance and a moment of health, a moment of self-fulfillment. And it's gonna not always be easy, because when you dance you do get fatigued, but it's gonna be an energy that definitely gives you ecstasy after you've gone through that workout. We easily see as well that we have a purification, where we are dealing with things that are possibly from the collective or from ourselves. And this card right here is telling us that we're doing some deep-rooted programming in our inner subconscious realms that are purifying us from whatever it is that we're dealing with. But similarly, it is a moment that we must keep an eye out for our shadow, because not only are we being in a moment of analyzing our shadow, but we're also in a moment where we're easily susceptible to psychic attack. And this is one of those moments where you really got to start paying attention to your energy work, because if you don't, it could work against you. So this is the sun, and this is the energy that is ruling us right now. Purification and the movement of life, just making sure that we stay nice and cushy with what we're experiencing. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading Venus down here for you guys, okay? So if you pick the yin deck on this side of the deck, you're going through the through. The through is tied to the 11th and 12th chakras. The 11th chakra tied to ascension, the 12th chakra tied to universal consciousness and your unity consciousness in general. So this card is telling you that you're making breakthroughs. Even though they may be seeming difficult, even though they seem like almost impossible entirely to make a breakthrough, you are making that shift. Just give yourself some nurturing time, because every time you break through a barrier, there are those moments where you feel fatigued. So go at a very steady pace and don't stop your pace, because sometimes we feel like we made a major breakthrough in our consciousness and we stop moving. And remember that we're aligning ourselves with purification mostly here. If you're in the yin deck, you're mostly going towards purification, aligning something really deep inside of your subconscious, and it's a breakthrough in your universal consciousness. This is tied to Venus, which is tied to the love aspects, which is tied to relationships and personal appreciation. Now, if we're looking at the male deck, we see that there is the Thunder card. The Thunder card is actually really, really good here, because it's telling you, again, a lot of abundance, a lot of luck. So whoever ended up picking this particular vibration, this is going to be very heavily associated as well with the dance of the drumming of life card, which is basically telling you this has got a lot of abundance and health coming your way. This is telling you down here that you have more abundance, more luck, more positivity coming your way, and it's going to be very powerful. Even though both of these cards right here affect both sides of the deck, when we line up one and the other, we start seeing what those combinations are. Both parties are still dealing with the shadow, even though you're going in kind of sort of different routes, okay? So now what we're going to do is, we started off here, we're going to just jump right over to these decks right here. So we're going to go from this deck all the way over to the Jupiter deck. So all the people in the Yin deck, not only are you going through a purification that's breaking through the cosmos, but you are aligning yourself with the spirit of the Divine Mother and the spirit of divine magic. So in this moment right now, allow yourself to call upon your spirit guides, especially if they're divine feminine spirit guides. Allow yourself to connect with Isis. Most recently, I felt like channeling Isis and Ishtar. Go ahead and do their meditations again that we did in those podcasts and those lives that we did together, because that energy is going to be very beneficial for you to grow and expand. So now we're going to go ahead and check out what message we have for those who picked out the Yang deck. This is in Uranus. Uranus has to do with massive change, and what everyone is being told here in the Yang deck on this side is that you need to open your heart to love, okay? So maybe you're experiencing anger that's been surfacing, maybe some doubt, maybe some fear. It's a moment for you to let go of that fear, that doubt, that negativity by just opening your heart. Sometimes opening your heart is something that's very, very challenging because it's scary. It's one of those things that maybe you're not accustomed to being in that position, and you have to allow yourself to step in that position to really thrive and pull out the highest vibrations of your energy, okay? So now we're going to go back to the Yin, all right? And we're going to be looking at the Ascended Master deck. Okay, and we're going to move this one over. It's on Mercury. Mercury has to do with your solar plexus. It has to do with your internal wisdom. And we have Mother Mary who's telling us to connect to the wisdom of the Great Mother. I'm pretty sure I just described that earlier to you. So here we have purification. We're making a through break here. We're divinely connecting to the Divine Mother and the Divine Womb. And here again, we have the wisdom of the Divine Mother through the Ascended Master Oracle deck at the energy of Mercury. So right now, everyone who picked this side of the deck is experiencing a lot of energy with Venus, with Jupiter, and with Mercury. So go ahead and put yourself in this position where you're aligning with those celestial bodies and even the sun as well. I would sit down if I had picked out the Yin deck over here and say, okay, I'm going to not only connect to Mother Mary and Isis and Ishtar, but I'm also going to go ahead and allow myself to connect to Mercury, to Jupiter, to Venus, and to the sun. All those planets are very beautiful for allowing you to grow in abundance towards intellectual harmony of self-love and ascension. All right, so it's very important that you stay in that connection with yourself. Similarly, we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch over to the male Yin, the male Yang deck, sorry. And we're going to be diving straight up here into Mars, another through card. So I love these decks because I shuffle them separately and everything, and they've already done this to me today twice. So even though we are experiencing a breakthrough in two different ways, this card right here is the breakthrough of Mars, which is shift, making shifts, making movement. Mars has to do with adventure. Mars has to do with war or taking action. So in this area where the Yin people have to make a breakthrough in self-love, self-discovery, self-intimacy, in the Yang deck, the through people have to make sure that they're going through this moment of making constant changes. If something's been bothering you for a while, shift that energy. There's no reason why you should not be shifting that energy actively. So similarly, we're going to go ahead and we're going to read a little bit more of the Yang deck because we do have this Native American deck still left over. Again, at Mars, there are changes that are happening and they may not be easy and they may not be convenient for you. You have to go with the flow. If you don't go with the flow, you are going to drown. There is no option here, and that's going to be one of the more difficult things. I definitely picked the Yang deck, and that's something that I've been noticing. I made a lot of breakthroughs most recently, and it kind of felt like my energy just hit this peak and I hit like neutrality. And something that I just kind of allowed myself to understand right in the moment that I felt like I hit neutrality was like, hey, I'm hitting this neutrality because I have to charge. I need to understand something else. I'm just going to go with the flow. Even though this is not the way I want to go with the flow, I need to just trust that what I'm doing right now is important and is going to lead me to the next movement. Then we have another energy here in Neptune, our third eye, our subconscious energy centers of understanding. We have the energy of union here sitting down for everyone in the Yang deck. And basically union tells you to stay positive. You're birthing something and you're bringing something that's going to bring you contentment. Sometimes when you're birthing something, it's going to be difficult. Sometimes when you come into a union, you know you're going to have to make compromises. But ultimately, those compromises are going to come back and bring you a lot of positive energy, okay? So even though things may be seeming a little bit difficult, you got this. Keep moving forward. So now we're going to be going right back to the Yin deck. And the Yin deck had an accompanied Shaman card with it. And this Shaman card tells you that you're collecting the fragments of your soul, the things that have been kind of like eluding you for a while. You're reconstructing your soul. This card, in alignment with all that purification, the Divine Mother, and bringing that breakthrough, you know, connecting with the higher aspects of magic, is very intense, because essentially what you're going through is you're going through a soul like a reawakening. I wouldn't even say it's a soul retrieval. It's more so a soul rebirth, and it's going to bring you a lot of positive energy, a lot of positive magic. But you have to be willing to be patient with yourself, because in this card, I'm not sure if you can see it, the person is clearly putting together a broken mirror, right? And that can be tedious, that can even be dangerous at times. It can be something that you don't necessarily want to do, but you have no other choice to do that. So you have to open yourself to the wisdom of the Great Mother, right? And allow those other energies to carry you right through into your purification and installing something really profound into your consciousness. When it comes to this Shaman card over here, this is for all the Yang people. And this one, we have the Buffalo King. And actually, this is one of those cards that never actually shows up too often for me. So I'm going to read it directly from the deck right here. It says, a man who can be trusted, loyalty and trust, patience, reinforcement, slowness, reluctance, and a change of opinion. All right, so basically it's the spirit of the father buffalo. The buffalo is a being that is very powerful. It's very headstrong, and it makes whatever it needs to, you know, make happen. And nothing's going to stop it from actually getting to its goal, especially when it's angry. So the buffalo usually brings with it this message of having more strength than what you ever knew was possible. And that strength is not something that is just going to be given to you. It's something that you have to inherently bring out of yourself, because that card right there as well is tied to kingship, right? It's the king, the father buffalo. Father energy is very paternal, it's very nurturing, but it's also very strict, right? And with the strength of the buffalo and the aspect of a king, the only way you're going to find that really powerful internal structure of yourself is to bring yourself into this moment of understanding that all the power you need is right here, right now. Don't deny yourself of that power, because it's extremely crucial for you to make more breakthroughs, find your contentment. The biggest portion of that card right there is mostly for this card right here, for all the people in Yang, because you're going to have to need a lot of strength to just go with the flow, right? And let that flow carry you through into contentment. That's going to be the hardest thing. And mostly because life is movement, all right? So you're going through some sort of flow here, two aspects of flow and making through, right? So life is a movement. You just got to dance. You just got to embrace it. You got to let yourself open up to like love through your heart center and embrace the abundance and the luck that's coming to you. It's very clear what everyone in the Yang deck has to deal with. And the main thing that's going to be stopping you from attaining this is your shadow. Similarly to all the Yin people who are dealing with that purification and like their soul expansion, the only thing that's going to stop you guys from attaining that energy is your shadow. So then we have these final two cards right here. We're going to start off with Earth, and we're going to have the blue heron, all right? So the blue heron is a very great aspect of energy, because not only does it tell us that we're connecting with the spirit world, we're also, in ancient Egyptian alchemy, the blue heron was also connected to the phoenix. So it's a sense of rebirth, but it's not just a typical rebirth. It's a rebirth of your internal structures of magic. So what you've understood magic to be, how you've ever worked with magic in general, what your internal magic means to you. It's reshaping a rebirth aspect of the ethers for you, so you can become more powerful. The angel number that's attached to that is 45. 4 means listen to your intuition. 5 means change, and also change of the home. So if you've been getting these prompts right now, regardless of whatever deck you're in, yin or yang, and you've been told, hey, move some furniture around, clean your house, like everything's okay, like try to make the best out of your situation. This is because the blue heron is talking to you right now. The blue heron is one of those animals that is very resourceful. It is beautiful. It is stealthy. It can move gracefully. And when you watch it, it's almost as though it's got all this profound wisdom inside of it. And that wisdom is always tied to aspects of the self and the throat chakra, the shadow, higher levels of alchemy, and the afterlife. I've seen the blue heron when my father-in-law passed away. I see the blue heron in ancient Egyptian scriptures that talk about me. I've seen the blue heron in a lot of ancient Egyptian scriptures about a bunch of other people, because it's a powerful aspect that's not only connected to the phoenix, but it's also connected through Thoth and through Mat. So it's got a very beautiful power, which is nourishing. And the blue heron also hangs around through movement, right? Because it's always by water and it likes to fish a lot. So we know that the yang people are going through movement. The yin people are going through purification. Both aspects are tied to water. So then we see why the blue heron is actually tied in our greater consciousness. Finally, we have the Saturn dragon, the Saturn planet with the emerald dragon, which brings us healing into the divine cosmic abundance. Good fortune is coming. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. Align with your 5th dimensional blueprint. So Saturn, again, Rahu, this year has definitely been about change. I remember at the beginning of the year, I told you all about how Rahu is going to be really testing, is going to be bringing us abundance, but it's also going to be something very difficult. And we've been seeing how Rahu not only affected each one of us personally, but it has also affected the collective consciousness. And we're just on the 4th year of the cosmic calendar, which is aligning us with our heart chakra, the ethers, and understanding profound concepts of reality that we haven't been understanding before, right? And one of the things that you have to understand is, like, if you want to continue to be abundant on New Earth, you have to go with the flow. You can't be constantly freaking out about, oh, how am I going to make my money? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Because that's the illusion trying to suck you down from actually embracing your highest level of power. So it's very, very important for you at this moment to just embrace the moment, know that you're okay, know that you're making breakthroughs. You know, the heron and the dragon are for both decks as well, so definitely pay attention to it. The heron tied to earth is telling us about our foundations. Right now, everything's focused towards our inner power and mastery of the shadow. We just recently entered Taurus season, so Taurus season is, again, very tied to similar aspects of the buffalo, right? So it's all about headstrong energy, making movement happen, and also being really careful with your temper, because a lot of us in the yang aspect that pulled out the yang cards on this aspect, we have a lot of like movement energy and action energy, and sometimes when we hit these moments where we just have to go with the flow, it can make us angry, it can make us frustrated, it can make us feel like we're failing. So you really have to pay attention to like that energy of the Taurus and stand your ground with strength. Similarly, the Taurus energy is going to be affecting people in the yin deck, where it's going to be like, oh wow, things seem a little bit more tedious or difficult than what I originally planned them to be. So if you can actually hold your strength and be like, okay, I just got to take my own pace. I got to work slowly at this. You're going to see massive shifts in your reality. So these are the main aspects of the tarot that we're going to be doing today. And I'm going to grab some dice. This is going to be for the yin. I knew it was going to be for the yin. I felt it coming out. And that one's a Pluto. I can't reach it because it's pretty far away. But it's a Pluto for the solar plexus. Pluto is telling everyone in the yin deck that your mind is going through a shift. Start working on not only your inner child, start working on your ancestral body, and start working on your soul. If you're in chakra mirror 3, use the chakra mirror 3 Ankh of the soul to activate all of your healing abilities here in the yin deck. So now we're going to pull out another one. For everyone in the yang deck, we have a blue Saturn, the throat chakra, okay? So it's basically, right now there's shifts, changes. Those changes can be seen as a difficulty, or they can be seen as a moment of pause to recalibrate yourself in this present moment. It's very important to understand that that slowdown period is your shadow really going to take out that moment to try to use it against you. So everyone in the yang deck, be patient with yourself. Don't let your shadow irk you. Don't feel like you're not making any movement. Just make as many movements as you can while this break lasts for just a short amount of time for everyone in the yang deck, because the shift that's going to be happening pretty soon is going to be a massive change. All right, this is Ascended Master Antojai giving you guys so much love. Stay positive. You guys got this. You can make it happen. And, you know, go ahead and share this with a couple people privately if you feel like someone could benefit from this message, because that's something that's always very beneficial as well. And don't forget to press the subscribe button and comment Ascension below if you really loved this tarot card reading and it resonated with you, okay? I'll see you in our next video. Happy Tuesday.